There are two parts to it. Number one, how is the political side of 3G technology and all upcoming technologies have been developing, and number two, how are the mobile operators and the customers are taking it. Pakistan Telecommunications Authority have just started to get very active and rigorous about pushing 3G technologies into the market. The reasons are obvious. We have just seen a very high amounted auction of 3G license in India, and therefore Pakistan Telecommunications Authority want to make some sort of that money here as well. The point is, if I should answer it very candidly, Pakistan is not quite ready for 3G as yet. The reason is that 3G technologies and all such newer technologies are very data-rich technologies. If you want them to give and maintain and return good revenues for service providers, you need to create a very immense need for that as well. If I do not need a 50 Mbps speed to go up to the internet and update my status on Facebook, but if you can educate people in the first place that why and how they can use their low-cost handsets in enhancing their own lives, their daily lives, then perhaps 3G would be of some use. Customers, the other part of the answer, the customers on the other hand are not aware of it. Still a lion's share of revenue is contributed from customers which are not educated, which are certain illiterate as well, and they just need voice services, they need SMS services, and they are doing it quite well on 2G network as well. So why would one want to switch to 3G? What service providers can perhaps do is they can come up with 3G in small, they can create small hubs in metropolitan areas. They can then turn their advertisements, simple social media campaigns into education, and they can teach people that you can use mobile phones for money transfer, for payment of your utility bills. Even you can use your web browser to watch 3D movies. If you're talking about the material cost, it might not be too much, but if you're talking about the cost, the immaterial cost, the training of human resource, the mindset, I think it's a huge cost to it. I think there is a problem with the mindset out there. You have 100 million customers, you have 1 billion mobile phone users, and yet you are running your business on cost reduction. That means there is a serious underlying problem. There are millions, hundreds and thousands of engineers who are jobless. Although the industry, I think, has that absorbing power that they can accumulate, but there has been so much of the immaturity from the regulators' point of view that we are stuck here. Coming back to your question, 3G would not cost too much in terms of infrastructure if the operators is going to put it into small hubs in metropolitan areas. But then again, I would again emphasize on the point that who is going to use it. I would share 3 simple points, all right? They might sound bizarre, but I have been writing about it, I have been focusing about it. I suggest 3 simple points on a 6-month trial period. Number one, what mobile operators should do is they should increase the prices on current telecommunication services, perhaps double the call rates. They need to have a pricing floor. PTA initiated a significant market player sort of a thing that we call SMP. Mobilink held the status of SMP. SMP is a company that cannot have, which has 25% market share. In the first place, they cannot decrease their tariffs from a certain threshold. All right. So first, what they need to do is they need to increase their call rates. They need to increase the prices. This increase would allow them to extract benefits. While they're extracting benefits on a 6-month trial period, the step number 2 is they can start converting their advertisement into education. Instead of continuously just investing money on telling people that we give call at 1.25, 1.50 rupees per hour, they should start turning their advertisements at how you can use your mobile phones to switch on or off your television when you're at the workplace, how you can actually check on your microwave oven remotely, and you do not need an intellectual to point that out. These are simple applications, and if not done, the writing on the wall is pretty clear. Step number 3 is when they are actually, step number 2, one was they have actually increased the prices. Step number 2, they have turned their advertisements into education. Step number 3 is they have to develop their value addition services portfolio, the VAS portfolio. A lot of mobile operators have started working on it. If I should name 2, Mobilink, Telenor, Ufone for that matter, they have started working on it. Telenor, for example, they like to experiment on it, and if they are able to develop a good VAS showcase, then the point number 1, which was increasing call prices, that part would have extracted marginal revenues for them, and then they can perhaps get back to their customers, and then they can focus on 3G. That we have some, we have 1 million applications ready in our web store, in our application store, that we can render to people over 3G networks. Telecommunication Authority, I should not say too much about it. I think PTA should have been more active and more focused. They should have launched this 3G license. In fact, they should have at least started talking about it way back 2 to 3 years back in 2007. There were visits from certain foreign operators, foreign companies, in fact chip makers as well, that they were interested in buying 3G spectrum. Qualcomm, for example, it's a famous chip maker in the world, and they actually bought a spectrum in India, 3G spectrum in India as well. They came to 3G, they came to PTA. ITU started pushing PTA as well, but PTA, I think, procrastinated, delayed purposefully, so that the price of 3G license could inflate to a level where they can, acquire maximum from the service providers, the potential buyers of that. But now you are at a stage that you have taken the industry at such a stagnant level that service providers are not ready to pay $300 or $400 million for a spectrum. Something I discuss it with my colleagues out there, with my mentors out there. Some differ, some do not, and in the end we culminate a talk to 1 or 2 such points which I've just mentioned to you. So you can say that it's Zambil's perspective. Founded first as a Yahoo group back in 2002, and since 2007 it has developed as a website. What we try to do is we create a knowledge portal that caters students and high-level professionals as well. We intend to create a linkage between academia, industry, and as well as those professionals in the industry, but they are at a stagnant stage. We want to create such environment where merit prospers. By Zambil and many other bloggers as well has been, I would say, not as a part of Zambil, because I'm part of Zambil, not because of that. Generally it has been very good, because the first point is you need to educate people whatever is coming. I cannot sell, my sales pitch cannot be technology. I cannot ask you to buy a $200 handset and say, well, it is a 3G enabled handset. But what if I tell you this handset allows you to monitor your main door of house while you're in some other country or in some other city? So what we have been trying to do is we're trying to educate people at what 3G potentially will hold for them. Those students which are in the universities, which will be graduates after some time, they are quite stressful about the job scenario. There are thousands of engineers that are still jobless. Although I believe the telecommunication industry is such a hot industry that no one in it can actually live hand to mouth, from operators as well as consumers. Of live sessions we do, all right, with our professionals who have spent over decades in the industry. Their live sessions, we catch them over the internet and we record their interviews. We take their perspective on it, and we actually ask them to suggest and comment on the strategies of mobile operators. For example, we take a topic that, well, how the industry would have been had there been only 3 mobile operators, but currently we have 5. So we try to take out those bits of information from them that might prove to be certain eye-openers for the regulators as well as for common users as well. And then we continuously keep bugging PTA. We keep sending our stuff to PTA, which I should mention do not always get noticed. Years or so I have been writing mainly about telecommunications. Previously I used to write on a broader spectrum of topics, but now I've been writing about telecommunications on Zambil, off Zambil as well. I maintain a personal blog of mine. I've been writing for a few Indian blogs as well. Track.in is one of them, with which I have been a bit regular. And apart from them, there are a lot of very active telecom groups as well on Yahoo and as well as on Google, and we maintain a very rigorous discussion there and very healthy environment as well. I think there have been efforts from my end, from our end, and from everybody's ends, but there is still a very huge gap to cover, I would say. For academia industry linkage, more than the industry, I would actually like to see universities working for it. Telecommunications at bachelor's level holds no paramount importance in front of the world, because telecommunications at bachelor's level in the first place should not be offered. But since we saw the telecommunications boom in 2003, 2002, many universities across Pakistan actually opened a separate department, segregated telecommunications from electrical and electronics. And this actually, I think, they narrowed down the scope of engineers who are studying telecommunications. It's basically, if I just say it metaphorically, it's about if you only teach a cricket player to catch a ball, but you do not teach him how to bat and ball. Telecommunications is like a specialization of electronics and electrical engineering. It's not an independent field in itself. I really appreciate, and I'm honored to be here, and I really thank you, and I hope that this small bit of ours serve as a small eye opener for those who are watching it.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me. My name is AbsarTaqvi and I've been writing about telecommunications networks, carriers and academic developments, and I write on Zambil mainly.